makes a ton of sense for him, makes actually good sense for all parties involved, is a trade back to OKC. They have the most picks. They'd be immediately probably favorites. They might be right now anyway. And he goes kind of home. I think it's the perfect PR move for him, and he's got a great shot at a ring there.
It would, you know what? It would have a little touch of what LeBron did with Cleveland.
Yeah, so if he wants to, replace, fix the image from, ring chasing with Golden State, even though this will still be ring chasing pretty much because of how good they've become, he's going home, so it'd be a nice move.
That would be cool.
Anyway,
I don't hate it.
Yeah, with Knicks and Tibbs, we've all talked about pretty much all season the worry about Knicks players getting run down with, especially late in the season with how much Brunson had to carry them and the minutes load and hitting the wall in the playoffs. I mean, it's only the first round. They haven't hit that wall yet. They still could. But we kind of never factored in is that these guys now, Josh Hart's ready to go for that 45th minute. He's got the energy at the end of the games when the other team doesn't. And these guys are ready to go on marathons every day, and they're just prepared for it, which they are conditioned that the other teams haven't gone through pretty much at all.
You know what, Brandon? All good points. I don't disagree with you. I mean, we thought that the Knicks wanted to win every game during the regular season, and then once they got to the postseason, well, both teams want to win the game. But I think that the Knicks, aerobically, mentally, muscle-wise, they are built for 48 minutes. They are. So this is not going to slow them down. Now, if they get to the Eastern Conference Finals, will it start to affect them? No, I think they're in great shape. I think the way they're used, they are in great shape. You look at other teams with load management, all of a sudden, there are no days off. You can't take a day off in the playoffs. The Knicks never take a day off, so the playoffs don't seem like a big deal to them. Hey, one guy I want to give credit to, Sam Presti. He might be the best GM in all of sports.
It's been impressive.
It's an unbelievable, Peter. So one team, they all bailed on him. Harden and Durant and then Westbrook, and they had to redo it all again, and they've redone it, and they're great again. And all he does is stockpile assets. He's really, really good. And, you talk about players don't want to play in small town. There ain't no smaller town than Oklahoma City.
That's true.
I mean, on the NBA map, that's a small town, and he still gets great players there. He's something else.
That might be one of the smaller markets in sports.
Yeah, well, it's not Green Bay, but it's close.
Yeah, I mean, Green Bay, Winnipeg, those are the ones you're looking at that are probably smaller, but from an NBA standpoint, it's right there.
Peter, how about Dodge?
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Yale New Haven Health, powering medical breakthroughs.
Flap it, turn it over. There we go.
This grandfather's breakthrough, teaching his granddaughter the art of making pizza, was made possible by another breakthrough. The discovery of a drug that uses a patient's own immune system to successfully treat lung cancer. That's the pioneering research of Yale Cancer Center, delivered through Smilo Cancer Hospital. Together,
Cheers.
we're powering breakthroughs with the greatest of care.
That's everything.
That's everything.
Yeah. Everything? Not everything.
The Hyundai Palisade. With advanced tech and award-winning safety. There's joy in every journey. Lease an all-wheel drive Palisade SEL for only $349 a month. Or step up and get a limited with $1,250 bonus cash. Hurry, offers end soon.
Isn't it absolutely bonkers that you can walk into a store, hand someone a piece of plastic, and they will willingly hand over Reese's cups? Forget flying cars. This is it. We're at the pinnacle. And meet Reese's distant but delicious cousins.
We all want to feel safe when traveling. That's why if you see something that feels suspicious, such as an abandoned bag or erratic behavior from a passenger, just call 911. You can call anonymously, and it's okay if it turns out to be nothing. Work together with the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey to keep our transportation facilities safe. Visit PANYNJ.gov to learn more.
For years, one company has battled to deliver business products the next day with no freight charges. Now, WB Mason, with their famous fleet of trucks and drivers, faces their biggest challenge, rescuing shipping and packaging buyers from expensive freight charges. That's right. Now, boxes, stretch film, and packaging tape are delivered the very next day at amazingly low prices. So, who do you call for fast delivery and no expensive freight charges? Who but WB Mason?
Hi, Eric.
Hi, Mel. Is now good for a quick catch-up on your plan?
Yes, now's great.
Finance now or refinance later. Here are 10 tips to make your
Needless to say, your money could be working so much harder.
Yes, I'm thinking more long-term.
Interest rates will remain at current levels.
Great. We'll make that change to your plan and adjust as needed.
This helps a lot.
Bye, Mel.
Bye.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? Don't do that.
This reminds me of my bike.
The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way?
Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank.
Hey!
Brought my +1. Jamie.
Waiting for the break of day. Wanting just to stay away.
Electricity flows through everything. Our movement, our passion, our drive. Can you feel it? Mustang Mach-E. Feel something electric. For a limited time, lease a Mach-E for $399 a month for 36 months and receive a complimentary Ford Connected Charge Station.
Sports fan. You got the Knicks, exciting and really good, up 3-1 over the Sixers. They could close it out tomorrow at the Garden. You've got the Rangers, who just swept the Capitals, now waiting for the winner of the Islanders and the Canes. So they're going to have some rest before the second round. You have the Yankees, who have the third best record in baseball, and they have 19 wins. And they're going to start a 4-game set, a battle for first place in the American League East against a really good Orioles team. And then you have the Mets, who lost the first 2 games of the weekend series at St. Louis, but then won a thriller in a walk-off against the Cardinals. And they look like they're going to be a tough out. Are they going to win the pennant? No. Are they going to win a championship? No. But they're going to be gritty and they're going to be tough. They have a good manager. And I think that as the season goes along, if they could get back some of their injured players, they could be much better than we thought they were going to be. So right now, you got to feel good. The Jets, you know, if the Achilles tendon is the right deal for Aaron Rodgers, could be a good year with them. The Giants, slow but steady goes the race. I just think it's a pretty exciting time to be a New York sports fan.
Well, we'll see what happens with the football and the baseball teams. It's early with baseball and football. We just had the draft, but you've got a story here that are kind of different stories, but trying to result in the same thing. You've got a Ranger team that clearly has an eyeball on the cup. They were the better team in the regular season. They just swept the Washington Capitals, and they're primed for a run. And they got a little pedigree, too. It was only 2 years ago they went to the conference final. So they feel like something's happening here. And the Knicks, this is the most excited I think any Knicks fan has the right to be since Ewing. I think the 54-win team in 13, they went to the second round. They lost to the Pacers. But I don't think anybody realistically felt like anything like special was going to happen here. And I'm not sure how much everybody loved, Carmelo, and there were some criticisms about that team. Everyone genuinely loves this Knicks team because they play so hard and they want it more, and they've got a legitimate star that's easy to follow. And there's just so much going on with these two teams, and they both play in the same building. And you're starting to see a little crossover. Tibbs has talked about the Rangers. Peter Laviolette's talked about the Knicks. You've seen Knicks players going to Ranger games, and Ranger players going to Knicks games. And Peter, you weren't here in '94, but you saw that kind of crossover. I remember Anthony Mason walking around the crowd in a Ranger jersey. And it really feels like that. And it's not artificial. It's not made up just because of the symmetry of OJ and it was 30 years ago. Like, it's legit.
No,
it is really legit.
You can feel it among the players. And, God, I mean, not to just keep singing this dude's praises, but why not the day after the greatest offensive performance in a playoff game ever by a New York Knick? But, guys, doesn't the whole thing sort of start with Jalen Brunson? Like, in terms of the way he carries himself? The kind of guy that he is on the court, the way that he carries around himself around the building. He just seems like the starting point for all of this positive energy that's happening. And not to take anything away from anyone else, but, man, I think he is such a major piece here. He could end up, if he sticks around here, being such an iconic Knick.
You know, we talk about the preparation that all teams do to choose their roster. We just, finished with the NFL draft and how many man hours get put into that. The Knicks were really the only team that wanted Jalen Brunson. The Mavericks had him. They let him go. Then they had to spend all that money to get Kyrie Irving when they could have kept him and a lot less. He signed for more with the Knicks than he would have signed with the Mavericks. It's a brilliant, brilliant signing. I mean, you got to give the Knicks front office a whole bunch of credit. They made the perfect trade at the perfect time in getting OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa. They sent away two players that were insanely popular. And also important because, one of them was a really high draft pick, the third pick in the draft. They had the guts to do it, and it's the perfect in-season trade. I mean, they don't lose when OG Anunoby is on the court. They just don't. So it's an amazing time right now. And there's one guy I keep thinking about, too. Listen, he's not lovable, he's not cuddly or anything like that. But can you imagine how great Jim Dolan feels? When he was in Philadelphia yesterday for that game, he has been just continually hammered year after year about everything he does wrong. He's built a great Ranger team, and now with patience and choosing the right people, because that's always been his problem. Not that he doesn't want to win, not that he doesn't want to spend money. He picks the wrong people, and he stays with them too long. But he finally picked the right guy, and it was an inspired choice. How do you know if you're going to hire an agent, if they're going to be good? Leon Rose was never GM before. He's been great. Dolan must be floating on air. Now, all of us, I mean, even George Steinbrenner had a second act. Now, I don't know if Jim Dolan's going to have a second. He might not have had a first act yet. This could be his second act, where he might be one of these owners that the fans end up liking.
And, you brought up a great point with, hiring an agent. That doesn't necessarily, especially in this town, resonate well, right? Brody Van Wagen is a perfect example, right? And so it's not exactly, there's not a history of that necessarily working out, and clearly it has. Leon Rose has done a spectacular job with his team. And you go back to the Rangers, Michael, it was not received well when they let Gorton and J.D. go.
No.
I mean, J.D. was immensely popular. They signed Panarin. It looked like they were getting out from under the letter. And everybody was like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here? You fired John Davidson and Jeff Gordon after, the great job that they did getting the team, out of the letter and back into contention again. And you hire Chris Drury, who had never been a general manager before. He was the assistant GM. And he made a mistake with Gerard Gallant, but he certainly has made up for it with Peter Laviolette, who universally is looked upon as one of the best coaches in the NHL. And you see the difference. The roster is not that much different from last year, Michael, and it's a complete turnaround. Lafreniere's played better. Kakko's played better. After blowing a 2-0 series lead to the Devils last year, they come back and they sweep the Washington Capitals. So he ended up getting that right as well. So nobody's going to throw any roses at his feet. He's not a likable guy. But I'm sorry, facts are facts. He took great chances with both of these organizations that at the time of those hires, people raised eyebrows like, I'm not sure if that's where I'd go. And look how it's worked out.
Anthony, get to work. Get Dolan on tomorrow. Will you do that, please? Put the ask in.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, we want him on. And also, throw the Knicks and the Rangers how great they're doing. And then the Sphere, which is the talk of entertainment, he's had a pretty good year. He's had a pretty good year. We'll see how it turns out. Do the Knicks have staying power? Will they go to the Eastern Conference Finals? Will the Rangers trip up against a better team? I don't know. But they're in play. And they've turned the Garden now into some place where, and Peter, again, you weren't even born in '94, but the bottom line is
15.
The baseball teams didn't even start until the Knicks and the Rangers were done in '94. You didn't even talk about the Yankees and the Mets until June.
And honestly, guys, I mean, you might feel differently because you're in the thick of it. It's kind of happening again. it's really hard for the baseball to get a lot of traction because it's every day there's something else bigger is going on, and you threw the draft in too. Now, I think people are paying attention, but it's really hard for it to get a lot of conversation, even as well as the Mets are, above 500 and the Yankees are one of the best teams in baseball. But that's just how powerful this thing is. And unlike 94, especially with the Rangers mortgaged a lot of their future in 94 at the trade deadline. And we saw what ended up happening after that. They went to the conference final in 97, but then they went 8 straight years missing the playoffs. It doesn't look like these teams are going anywhere. I don't feel like they're not old teams. And listen, the window can close very close, and I think the window is, a lot smaller for the Rangers than it is for the Knicks, just because of where they are in their stages here. But I don't feel like this is a one-hit wonder. So if it doesn't work out this year, you have every reason to believe that maybe a next step could be taken next year. I don't want to start, thinking about the future when the present is so bright, but I look. Don't you see sustainability in these two organizations?
Well, not only listen, I can't speak to the Rangers like you can, but I'm going to talk about the Knicks. This is the worst Knicks team that you're going to see in the next 5 years. I
think so.
This one. You know how many draft picks they have that they could deal for anybody they want, and their cap situation is in great shape. They have handled everything beautifully. Now, Leon Rose is the mysterious Rose. Nobody talks to him, and he should talk in order to get his flowers, but that's okay. He doesn't want to talk. He's letting his work talk, and his work is screaming out accolades because they are set up for a really long run. Jalen Brunson's young. Now, he can opt out of his contract after next year, which he will. They'll sign him to a big money deal. They've got 7 first-round draft picks that they could play around with. They could bring in anybody they want. They've got tradable contracts. They've got maneuverability. Their cap's in great shape. This is the worst Knicks team that you're going to see in the next 5 years. I'm telling you, it is. That's how great they're set up. So you got to give them credit. And Leon Rose and crew, it's not just Leon, have done an unbelievable job. Unbelievable.
I appreciate and crew, and being in crew myself. No, but you're absolutely right, Michael. There's no reason that this is not going to get better for this team. And back to heaping on more praise for Jalen Brunson. How much does it do to have this exciting and highly regarded a player on the team? How much more likely does it make it? How much more confidence do you have as a Knicks fan going into an offseason, regardless what the outcome is here? Assuming, no, let me not say that, because I will say if they somehow tragically lost the next 3 games, that could change the energy around this team. But assuming, knock on wood, that they are to win this series and at least play another competitive series, you're telling me you're not going to feel way better going into free agency about the possibilities, knowing the kind of season you just played, minus Julius Randle still playing that way, because of how good they were and because specifically of how good Jalen Brunson was? You have to feel better, Michael. That's the thing. Who's going to be the person to entice someone? I think they found that guy.
Yeah, I don't know if they did it by accident. I don't think that they knew that Brunson was going to be this good. They knew he was going to be good. They never thought he was going to be this. I mean, nobody thought that. I don't even think Jalen Brunson's dad, Rick, thought it was going to be this good. But now they've got the anchor. They have somebody that everybody will want to play with. He's going to make second All-NBA. He will. And everybody's going to look and go, the Knicks are the place. Knicks are the place you want to play. Everyone wants to play in New York, but they didn't want to play on a bad team. Now they're going to play in New York with a great player, a great facilitator, and it's an attractive place to go.
Well, the reason New York is such a bad place to play when the team stinks is the exact reason why it's such a great place to play when they win. Because the energy is just unbelievable, because the fans are so passionate. They're going to be all in on you when you're winning, and then, listen, they'll turn on you when you lose, and they'll boo you if they feel like you deserve to be booed. They'll get on you. Expectations sometimes, when they're not lived up to, will be punished by this fan base. But that's the exact reason why you want to win here, because you'll be a part of forever, especially with these two franchises. The Rangers have won once since 1940. All right? The Knicks have not won a championship in over 50 years. And listen, I know 94, that was 30 years ago. There's a whole generation of Ranger fans, including our producer, that don't remember the last time the Rangers won.
Mark Messier is absolutely beloved for that one cup. And all the players on the 69 and 73 Knicks are revered forever.
Do you know, like right now Brunson feels like he owns the town, right? Right now he's probably the hottest star in New York, just based on what's going on here.
Don, good time to re-up that conversation that we love to have.
Right. We always have it. But, Peter, if you want a championship, he's right there with anybody who's ever played for the Knicks. He's right there. And the same for all of these Rangers. Can you just imagine, you know how Graves and Richter and Messier and Leach are remembered? If this Ranger team won, then it becomes Kreider and Zibanejad and Panarin and Shesterkin. It'd be right there. Because what would any of those guys have been if they didn't win in 94? Like Leach was a Hall of Famer, no question. But Messier would have been looked upon as a failure, didn't deliver. Delivered in Edmonton, couldn't deliver here. Richter's a nice goaltender, nice stats, couldn't win the big one. You know, Graves, a really nice player, scored 50 goals, but didn't win. Those guys win, they're gods. Their numbers are retired. That's what's ready for these players right now. That's what they could be on the cusp of being here in the next couple of years. Become very good players on a very good team to being remembered forever. Doc and Darryl and Graves and Messier and Richter and all the great ones and the core four with the Yankees. That's what could be. That's the future possibly for these stars in New York if they could do it.
Peter, you would have been proud of me. So over the week, I'm in Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Okay. And it's the Milwaukee Brewers. Mm-hmm. And one of their names, like, the Bronx Bombers, is the Brew Crew.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And because the Islanders sent us donuts and addressed the letter to Michael, Don, and Crew, and we started calling you Crew, I went to every souvenir shop in the ballpark, and I said, do you have anything that just says Crew? I was going to buy you a sweatshirt, and they don't. I didn't think Brew Crew worked.
Brew Crew wouldn't work because it's a brewer shirt.
Right.
But if it just said Crew?
Just Crew, it would have been gold.
Oh, gold, Jerry, gold. Did you tell
By the way, Jerry
Bob
Seinfeld 70 today.
That bothers me.
Why?
No, that one bothers me too, Don.
Really?
No. Yes, that one bothers me.
That he's 70? Well, does it bother that Larry's 74?
No. Larry's supposed to be 74. Jerry's supposed to be 64 now. Right, Don?
Well,
64 sounds
because Seinfeld lives forever, right? You can't turn on the TV at night and not find a Seinfeld. So he's forever 35 to me. On Seinfeld, the fact that he's now 70, Larry, we got exposed to Larry obviously during Curb, and you did see the difference when they were doing the flashbacks in the final episode. But he's pretty much always looked that way. But and I think Jerry looks great, but 70 and Jerry Seinfeld 70.
Remember we saw him in the park the other day. He walked right by us. I would have legit guessed. I mean, math tells you it couldn't be much less than 65, but I would have guessed around there.
It's been bothering me. It's been haunting me, actually.
Haunting?
Wow. You asked me, when you saw Jerry, as you put it, in the wild, who is the biggest star I ever met in the wild? And it's been bothering me. I have not been able to come up with one.
What, you don't have one?
No.
You don't have a great in the wild story?
No, I have to. 56 years walking the earth, I've had to bump into somebody. And what we mean by in the wild is like we were around famous people because of the show or going to the Super Bowl. We're just talking about you just roaming around in a mall and, oh, look, there's so-and-so walking past you.
Yeah, I would need a few minutes to think about my other greatest in the wild. I had a Mike Tyson in the wild, guys, which is if you remove me and that I know him and am such a fan, just remove that. That is a big in the wild spotting. Seinfeld was a big one.
Do you have one, Michael?
I'm thinking as you guys are talking, I can't think of one.
I know I'm forgetting.
I mean, I once ran into Donald Trump at Madison Square Garden.
Does the Garden count?
No, I guess not, because that's not in the wild.
The Garden doesn't. Yeah, the Garden can't be the wild because you see it's at 30 rows away from Tracy Morgan. Like it doesn't count.
No, we went up the elevator together.
Did you say hello?
I did say hello, and because back then, before he became a politician, didn't like to shake hands, and I was not dressed up like a hobo, and I said hello, and he kind of looked at me warily, and then I said I'm the Yankee, and when I said the Yankees, that warmed him up, and I think he was there with his two sons, and they were very young at the time. I don't know if that counts as in the wild.
Yeah,
Michael, I'm not a fan. I don't want to touch your clammy, gross hands. Vasily Gross K. That's what we call him. His hands are so sticky and gross.
I saw Richie Havens at a Stevie Nicks concert. That I don't know if does that count.
Even if it does count, it's terrible.
Well, come on, he's no longer with us. That's not right.
I'm sorry I laughed on that. Oh man,
No,
that was
I
such
think
a
you're
good
thrilled
Don
you laughed
quote.
on it.
I saw Richie Havens at a Stevie Nicks concert. Was such a beautiful piece of Don.
He opened Woodstock. He's not nobody.
No, he's not nobody for sure. He's definitely somebody. But wow, that was so Don.
Let's go.
All right, let's keep thinking of In the Wild.
Let's go to Sam in Brooklyn in the Wild. What's up, Sam?
What's up? Richie Havens, who's alumni of Franklin K. Lane High School, which I went to.
Wow, look at that, tying it all together, Sam.
That's how ironic is that?
Hey, I have two questions for you, Don, about the Rangers. So, first is, will they use Heedle against the Canes, and how do you think they'll employ him? And the other question is, when speaking to reporters or other sportscasters from outside the New York area, how do they speak about the Rangers the way we speak about, let's say, the Canes or the Bruins or all these other great teams that we
Sam,
might be
it's a great point because that's how I kind of gauge, right? When traveling around with the Rangers and how do the out-of-town announcers and out-of-town media respond, and it's always a really good indication. They are really impressed about how good and well-run this team is. Now, as far as the Heedle's concerned,
they should be.
Everybody and it's the main conversation. Not to Laviolette because he's not going to answer it, but just the different people around the team, just banter back and forth. The general consensus is for Heedle to get in, something bad has to happen. And when I mean bad, means somebody has to get hurt, or they fall behind 2-0 to Carolina and they're looking for a spark. Peter is exceptionally loyal, and he's not going to bench somebody unless they deserve to be benched, and he's not going to make any changes as long as they're winning. So if they lose the first 2 games to Carolina, maybe for a spark they'll put Heedle in, or if somebody gets hurt. So I think for Heedle to play in the playoffs, guys, something bad has to happen. So you should almost root for him not to play.
Anthony Pusick said he met Liam Neeson running in Central Park while he was in high school. That's his In the Wild.
I saw that.
That's not bad.
The thing I can't wrap my mind around, please don't take this the wrong way, Anthony, I just can't picture you running.
So that's an interesting
now,
point.
Not that he's not physically fit. Peter, wrap your mind around it.
I ran all 4 years, all 3 seasons.
That's a shock.
Wow, you hear that?
Did you know that?
No.
Sub 5 mile back in high school.
I don't know.
Did you always wear jeans and a polo shirt?
No, that would be really hard to run in.
He's got a little Andrew in him. Anthony doesn't
ahead.
talk himself up at all.
No.
I bet you he has a Jay-Z story that we're going to stumble upon as the years go by. He probably has a killer story. He just hasn't gotten around to telling us yet.
Oh, can you imagine if he drops one of those? Nothing will ever be that.
I didn't know he ran in school.
Can you imagine how much faster he'd be without the Pusick? I mean, the wind resistance of the Pusick.
That's a great point by Michael.
Did you have the Pusick back in high school?
You couldn't in an all-boys Xavier High School.
Well, I mean, boys do grow beards.
Don knows.
No, but you had to shave, Michael.
No, that's the name of Michael's 38th book.
Boys do grow
at a Catholic school? When I went to Don Bosco Tech, it was a Catholic school. I didn't shave one day. And the punishment would be they'd give you like an old Bic razor, and you'd have to shave with soap and water. And you cut your face up like a ribbon. That's what they did
in
to
the
you
dean's office. Yep.
Because back in the 80s, they'd beat you, Michael.
No beating took place.
No,
Let's
because
go
you're a
to
modern kid.
Dave and Brick. Dave.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How are you?
Good. How about you?
Well, I got a quick story for you. So when the Rangers signed Artemi Panarin, I was actually meeting Mark Messier, Brian Leach, Adam Graves, and Mike Richter. I was just about to meet them, and I got the text that the Rangers traded for Panarin. And I was like, if this isn't a sign from God, I don't know what is.
Now, did you break it to them?
Yeah, did you break? Yeah, exactly. That was a nice icebreaker if you talked to him about it.
No, I was asking Richter if he knew which side, what's his name, was going to go to on the penalty shot. Bore was going to go on the penalty shot. He goes, I have no idea. I had no idea.
So you were living in the past instead of the present. Let's be honest.
I was just so starstruck, man. It was like always a dream of mine to meet those guys, and like it was just so awesome, you know. And I said two things before the series started. And I was like, if Artemi Panarin shows up and the Rangers don't go 7 games every series, the cup runs through New York. I don't think there's a team as talented out there as the Rangers are. Like, top to bottom, I think the Rangers, I might be a little bit of a homer, but I think they're the most talented.
I really wish Artemi Panarin got more attention for the Hart. And maybe it isn't the Brunson level for a lack of appreciation, guys, but it's always Kucherov, it's always McKinnon, it's always McDavid. You know what? If you took those guys away from those teams, they'd be hurt. But I still have a feeling that the Tampa Bay Lightning would find a way to be the first wild card if they lost Kucherov. And I still think Colorado would have finished in third if they lost McKinnon. If the Rangers lost Panarin, they're not winning the President's Trophy. They're not the best team in the league. But he won't get consideration despite the fact that he had 49 goals and, 120 points. But if he, Michael, if he could play well, this could be really, really special because that's how good Panarin is. And he's been good so far in the playoffs. And that's been the knock on him is that he only produces on the power play. But if he can play well in these playoffs, that's going to be huge for this team.
Well, the hardest thing about getting into shape is taking that first step. Yeah, Peter. Is it?
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you in part by Audi, the official luxury vehicle of the New York Yankees. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer today.
Is it possible to be more capable and more practical? Be able to perform here and here. Make a statement while barely making a sound. And command the road, as well as what lies ahead. How we get there matters. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
FanDuel Casino has your chance at the #1 feeling, winning. Winning ranks higher than any other feeling, higher than number 30. Saying, I told you so.
Told you so.
Higher than number 89, the feeling of catching your car keys with one hand. And number 78, thinking it's Friday when it's really Saturday. New players get 200 chances at winning with their first deposit on FanDuel Casino.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of others.
It feels like it is a statement series.
So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
New season, new reasons to say yes. Wow. Yes to the ultimate viewing experience.
Aaron Judge crushes one.
Yes to in-game live stats. And earn rewards and win prizes. Get all the Yankees action on the Yes app. Download now.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
The 3 for Me, only at Chili's, is now available with the all-new Big Smasher Burger. Or you can settle for a drive-thru. Plus, get fries, a drink, and bottomless chips and salsa for just $10.99. See you later, tiny drive-thru burger. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat.
Yes Network is now streaming on Fubo. Watch the Yankees and more of your New York teams. Streaming live on all your devices. Plus, over 350 top channels. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Step into the world of Golden Nugget Online Casino. With all the slots and table games you love, feel like you're on the casino floor no matter where you are. Score rewards by playing your favorite games and get your winnings almost instantly with lightning-fast withdrawals. Go! So what are you waiting for? Have a great time in your downtime. Download the Golden Nugget Online Casino app and get started today with this great offer.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Joe passed away December 26, 2021. They had found him unconscious. He had a heart attack at the firehouse. At Joe's wake, Assistant Chief Gala had told me that Tunnel to Towers would be taking care of us. We found out that for July 4th that they'd be paying off our mortgage completely. I would suggest that if you've never heard of Tunnel to Towers, you should read about it. You definitely see where the money goes. I think that's the most important thing. You see where it's going. Please contribute $11 a month by going to t2t.org.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
This program is brought to you in part by the New York Lottery. Get out there and play. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 or over.
Saturday, they scored 15 runs on Sunday, and it's only the 5th time in Yankee history that they've scored 15 or more runs in successive games. So pretty impressive performance. Aaron Judge looked like he was a lot closer to what you expect him to be, so that was a good thing. A big bases-loaded double by Gleyber Torres, who's still waiting for his first home run, which is kind of hard to believe. Anthony Rizzo hit his 300th home run, had a very good week, and he was just named the American League Player of the Week. So these 4 games against the Orioles, they should be fun. The Orioles are good. They're young. I don't know if they have enough pitching. I'm not in love with their bullpen. In fact, Kimbrel blew a save yesterday to Oakland. Oakland came in and took 2 out of 3 from the Orioles. So that's something. The Yankees keep winning series. The only series they lost was the one in Toronto. They did split the 4 games with Oakland, but they have 19 wins, and they have the 3rd best record in baseball. The only teams better, Atlanta at 19-7, Cleveland at 19-9.
And boy, were those runs a sight for sore eyes.
They really were. All those people that
want
to bench Judge, are they not going to call now? Just like the ones that wanted to release Stanton, they didn't call. They kind of went away.
That is weird how that happened. What was the overall in the series?
Let's see. I have it right here.
Because you're doing the Yankee games tonight, aren't you?
Judge in the last 2 games was 5 for 10, 2 homers, 2 walks, 5 ribbies, 3 runs scored.
God, did he need that? And that is a nice thing to have.
His hand had a major contribution to.
You know, when for those that don't know, he broke up a double play because I guess when he slides, his left hand, which is the hand with the oven mitt on it, was in the way of the throw. And I thought it should have been interference and it should have been a double play. But somebody did a compilation of every slide that he's ever done, and he does that. He just lifts his hand. And if he keeps doing it, he's going to get his hand hurt. Because he's going to get hit in the wrong place.
But it's not illegal in any way. It's just dangerous.
No, it is illegal if you put your hand up on purpose.
Yeah,
but that's the way he slides, so it's not illegal.
I don't.
It's interesting. That is.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well, that's the way he slides. It still could be illegal.
He's never been called on it before.
Well, because he never hit his hand.
Right. Well, the umpires said after the game that they got it wrong.
Right.
That they should have called interference.
Now, listen, it opened up the inning, but, things happen.
It opened up for 7 runs.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
Pinstripe
Pinstripe
report.
report. What was that?
They score in bunches.
Yeah, they do. That's the Pinstripe Report brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. For a pain-free life, visit samwellpain.com today. Did get a chance to talk with Bob Uecker. That was fun. He's something else. Kept asking about John. How's the kid doing? Because he's 90, John's 85, so he can call John kid.
I love that. So good. He's just still sharp as can be?
Unbelievable.
Nothing. He's completely same guy.
He goes down at the end of the game. They have a golf cart that takes him under the stadium, and right to his Corvette. He drives himself home.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so great. And now just to check.
Yeah.
Would you take 90?
No.
Would you take Euchre's 90?
And then it's going to end?
You don't know when it's going to end, but living just like Euchre up till close to this age.
All right, let me think. No, I need more. I need more.
I'm telling you, it's going to be horrible when you lose this negotiation.
Well, we know
I'm not looking
It's
forward
going to
to
be horrible when I die. That's what.
That's the loss of the. That's how it ends. Yeah.
Well, when my mom's friend Faye turned 98, Michael said he would take 98. So we know that.
It's somewhere between 90 and 98.
But
I think we narrowed it to 94 and 98.
Yeah, you did. You did.
In the middle there. So that is really. I gotta. Yeah, we're gonna have to get you. You probably have to drop weight. You probably have to drop some height.
Oh yeah, height's not good for old age.
Well,
so this is
Bill
Russell
Russell made it work.
Yes, he did, but very few do.
Very few.
Let's go to Vinny in Staten Island. Vincent.
How you doing, guys?
Great. How are you?
I got meeting someone in the wild. I was lucky enough to work at City Hall. I got to meet a lot of great people. Roger Bear, Run DMC. But two of the nicest people I ever met were Michael Kay and John Sterling at the Yankee Parade.
Oh, really? What year?
The most gracious two people. John Sterling said to me, "Excuse me, young man, can you tell me where the men's room is?" And I took him to the men's room in '96, and he said, "Is there anything I can get you?" I said, "No." 3 years later, he was back at the parade, and he remembered me. Greatest moment of all the people I met.
Wow, that's
You
pretty
guys
cool.
were awesome. Been listening to the show since day one. I love all you guys. You're great.
Thank you, Vinny. It's a great phone call. Thank you.
I don't
very
think
much.
it fits for in the wild, though. When you work at City Hall and the Yankees are in a parade. Like I had somebody on social media saying that their in the wild moment was meeting Jerry Garcia getting into a limo at the Garden. That's not in the wild.
Let's go to Paul in New Jersey. Paulie.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's up, man?
Hey, I have an amazing list. I really do.
Okay.
And I don't really know how to put them in any order, but I'll tell you who they are. And this is no nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Muhammad Ali. Met him when I was readmitting into my college back when he was on his hiatus.
Wow.
Jack Nicholson on the Florida Forum. I was out there for a Giants game in '91. He was on the floor of the Forum. And I met...
That's not in the wild, though. It's still very exciting, but not. Meeting Jack at the Forum is not in the wild.
Well,
it's like getting a meeting at his office for God's sake.
Right. And Muhammad Ali, Jack Nicholson, and what's his name? John Lennon.
Where was John Lennon?
He was.
Wow. No. Okay.
Right.
Really?
Yes. No lie. Seriously, he was a guy who was in Elephant's memory. Was a roommate of a guy that I went to college with. I was over visiting my friend. The door knocks, and it's John Lennon. It was like having God walk in.
Oh my!
It was incredible.
Was he nice?
He just walked on and go, "Hello, lads," and we were all sitting there stunned. And he walked on, and the two of them walked out, and he said, "Goodbye, lads," and that was it.
Oh my God!
It was amazing.
Wow,
I love it. Yeah, you've got some good ones for sure.
Yeah, I can't give him the Jack because, like Peter said, that's his office. But Muhammad Ali and John Lennon in the wild, Peter, you can't get better than that.
It may. I don't know how you beat it. You know,
that's 1 and 1A, and you take your pick who's 1 and who's 1A.
But think about this, Don. What about the time I was walking down the street in South Beach? I'm walking down the street, minding my own business. I look up, someone punched me in the chest. I looked up. It was Martin Luther King. Punched me right in my chest.
You didn't mean no Martin Luther the King.
Let's go to Chris in Sand Lake. Chris.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. What's up, Chris?
I love you. I love your show.
Thanks.
So I'm not an NBA fan, but the year that Dr. J retired, I happened to be at a conference in San Antonio, and he was making a tour of all the NBA cities. I had read in the paper that morning that he couldn't play that night because he had broken his finger, and I had a picture of him. The conference was boring. I went into the sauna at the hotel, and there was this very big man with a shock of white hair and a splint on his finger And I thought to myself, holy blank, I am sitting in the sauna all by myself with Julius Erving.
So you didn't just
And
meet
all I
Julius
could say
Erving
to
in the
him-
wild. You met him in the raw.
I did. He had a towel. He had a towel. We both did. But not knowing basketball that well, I just knew enough that, like, I'm in the sauna with Babe Ruth of basketball.
Did you talk to him?
And it was, all I can remember saying, Michael, was, this lame, the game is going to miss you.
Oh, he probably appreciated that.
Thank you.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
So that's my story of the guy in the wild.
No, I just thought of an in the wild one. See, Peter, you probably say it doesn't count. I'm in the Yankee clubhouse at the old Yankee Stadium, and for some reason, Springsteen walks in.
I mean, no, that's.
I mean, you're not
It's not the
expecting
Wild.
Springsteen in the wild. Yeah.
Right. It's not the Wild, but like I had a friend, my friend Zach, I think it was Zach, just saw Springsteen at a diner in Jersey a couple of weeks ago.
What did he order?
I don't know if he knew what he ordered, but that's in the wild. Anyone walking into the clubhouse in Yankee Stadium it's still super exciting, but I can't count it as in the wild. Don, you agree?
Yeah, it does have that in the wild of Jace kind of thing because it is a place where famous people go. Like in the wild suggests it's neutral. You're not
like at a Dunkin'.
That's right.
Like, all right, Bruce Springsteen doesn't belong at Yankee Stadium necessarily, but it's not that crazy to think that he would be at Yankee Stadium. Now, you don't remember the actor because I'm trying to think of stuff that he was in. You remember Michael Pollard? He was in Stooged. He was in Roxanne. If you saw him, Peter, go look it up on IMDb. You'd recognize it.
I know, I remember him.
I was covering a Yankee game for the Fan. And remember at the old Yankee Stadium, Michael, the radio room? It was like a little room where you'd be able to feed your sound.
Mm-hmm.
He was just sitting there in the radio room by himself, just staring out into space. Like I never found out why he was there.
And you didn't say anything to him?
No, because honestly, saying something to him would have seemed awkward. Nobody else was bothering, just sitting there right in the middle of the room by himself staring into space. I just walked by him.
I never told you. He was there every day until the stadium closed in 2008. Yeah. He went there every day.
You know what I want to hear? I want a Michael Jackson. That's an in the. You get a Michael Jackson in the wild. You get a Prince in the wild. Now, the guy who had Muhammad Ali and John Lennon is a distant winner right now.
But
go. You give me a Michael Jackson.
My dad's in the wild moment. It was something we talked about forever until he passed. Was Lou Costello.
Michael Jackson and Jace. I've always said it.
But for that time, Lou Costello.
No, that's and by the way, that's Costello. Just say Costello. Honestly, he loses cachet when you add his first name.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
His first name is Abbott N. Okay, that's his first name.
So it was just at a park in Patterson.
Well, it's Abbott and Costello.
No, do you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah,
though?
but
Don,
why
you
couldn't you
understand
say Lou Costello?
Because I literally, I Googled it. I was like, Lou Costello. Oh, it's Abbott and Costello. Yeah, of course.
Really? That's
so
unusual.
what he'd have to describe it. My father met Abbott and Costello, but it was Costello.
That's awkward,
Peter. I would say the answer is my dad met Costello of Abbott and Costello.
That's too It's too verbose.
No, listen. You know what? I'm fine with how it played out. You said Lou Costello, and other people hopefully did what I did. They Googled him. Oh, Abbott and Costello. Wow.
And you know what his father asked him? He said, "Who's on first?
Who's on first? Oh, come on. That's just
Go Raul in Pennsylvania. Raul.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Great. How about you?
I'm doing great, Michael.
Good.
I just want to comment on your hair. I saw the interview with my mom next to me. She said, "Look at Michael K. Wow, he was doing the George."
Oh yeah. We played that. Yeah, it was from '95. Beautiful hair, right?
Yeah, it was amazing. I was like, wow.
It's amazing what age does to you, Raul.
It's not right.
Yeah, but you look the same though. You still look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, my mom liked it. But anyways, I want to talk about the Yankees. I got a question.
All right.
They score a lot of runs in Milwaukee. Now, I see that Judge was slumping the last 2 weeks. did you see enough, or to say that he's got to his point now, break out of it, or do you have to wait till the Orioles series, which is a good team, and then that will tell you if Aaron Judge really is going to carry the Yankees more?
Well, I've seen a lot of this, Raul, on social media that, you know, the Brewers aren't good. Well, the Brewers in first place in the Central when the Yankees came into Milwaukee on Friday. So the Brewers are pretty good. I mean, they're not one of the best teams in baseball, but they're pretty good. But Aaron Judge is off the interstate. He's hitting .211. He looked good the last 2 games, like he was on time. That's the most important thing. We'll see if it continues. Orioles are a good test for the whole Yankee team. This might be the best team they played. I believe it is. Am I missing somebody, Don? I think it's the best team they played.
No, I think it is.
And the Astros have proven not to be that great.
And Cleveland, I guess, would be the other one.
Right. And Arizona. I think that Baltimore's better than all of them. Right?
Well, that's your stiffest competition in the division.
Yes. Hey, the second annual DPA Jordan Rothenberg pregame party is coming up on Thursday, May 2nd. Come out to see the live broadcast starting.
HCM is a serious heart condition affecting as many as 1 in 200 people. Like me.
And me. It can impact how you feel and what you can do.
I still felt tired on my beta blocker. So I talked to my cardiologist.
About treatment advances in HCM that gave me new options.
It was a breakthrough for me.
That conversation was big for me.
Talk to your cardiologist today and visit hcmrealtalk.com for more information.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
Everyone wants to save the world. They just disagree on how.
We're gonna need all the help we can get.
Let me fight beside you. I shall follow your lead.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became my passion, to design a shirt that captures the perfect balance between length and fit. Easy to say, not that easy to do. But with some innovative design changes, we did it. Our problem, my solution. Untuckit.com.
Break up with your old wings and get a new lemon pepper wing from Popeyes. Crispy, saucy, available. Popeyes finally has wings in 6 flavors.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
It feels like it is a statement series.
Big names. Big home runs.
This is the matchup you live for.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours and to get our eyes checked regularly. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. So do poor diet choices and poor life choices. But why are we so reckless with our hearing? We take hearing for granted. Hearing damage from loud sounds is permanent, but preventable. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Wear earplugs. Turn it down. Give your ears a rest. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Competing for gold, we have legendary Reese's Peanut Butter Cups versus newcomer Reese's Medals. Who will be the winner? I'm sorry, what are they competing in?
Right now, you can get any large pizza for just $12 from Pizza Hut. Any pizza, any crust, $12. That means meat lovers, supreme, or create your own with any toppings, just $12. This deal won't last long, so order any way you want now.
Of course, the GMC Terrain offers different drive modes. What about Weekend Warrior mode? Or you don't see that every day mode? How about Out of the Office mode? Or even...
Are you out of your mind?
Mode. Want a mode for everything? Just announced, Sign and Drive. Current eligible GMC lessees can get this ultra-low mileage lease on this all-wheel drive Terrain SLE for around $393 per month with zero due at signing. Sign and drive one home today.
Vehicle breakdowns are costly.
It started making some really weird noises.
If your check engine light comes on tomorrow, the repair could easily cost thousands.
Here's that transmission.
But with Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a costly repair again.
They covered a $14,000 engine replacement.
$1,400. Endurance paid it. Who's going to pay for your next car repair? You or Endurance?
Call right now to get $300 off any plan. Call now.
HCM is a serious heart condition affecting as many as 1 in 200 people, like me.
And me. I was still short of breath on my beta blocker.
So I talked to my cardiologist.
And asked about treatment advances in HCM.
That talk made a real difference.
It gave me new hope.
Talk to your cardiologist today. Visit hcmrealtalk.com to learn more.
When disaster strikes, no matter where and when, cash is best. Those in crisis are able to decide where that money goes. It's easily exchanged and received across borders, and nobody knows the needs of a community in crisis better than the people within it. With cash, help goes exactly where it's needed, when it's needed. Ultimately, cash creates choice. And when it comes to what we should send to communities in need, our choice is simple.
Half of young adults are at risk of hearing damage from loud sounds. So why is this happening? We know not to bake in the sun for hours. We buckle up to save lives. And we know that smoking kills. We take common sense steps for our health every day. Let's make hearing part of it. Love your ears. Learn more at hearinghealthfoundation.org. Keep listening.
Maneuverability, their cap's in great shape. This is the worst Knick team that you're going to see in the next 5 years. As my friend Mike Breen would say, bang, bang. I got the first one. I've got a good in the wild from my friend Jack Curry. You ready?
Oh, really? Okay, Jack, what do you got?
You ready? He said it was 2003 or 2004 in Boston. He sat at the counter of California Pizza Kitchen, which he likes. And you know who sit down next to him? Right next to him at the counter. Orenthal James Simpson.
Strong.
That's a strong in the wild, right?
That is very strong. Because it's not about good or bad. It's about level of famousness.
Right, and what are you going to talk to him about? Did you really do it? I mean, what do you say?
I mean, you could always talk football.
Christian on Twitter said, while working at TGA Fridays in Woodbridge, New Jersey, met Lawrence Taylor in the wild.
Solid.
Now, this one's weird. This one's disconcerting to me. Dion Matthews said, few famous folks I've seen in the wild, but one relevant one for this show. I once saw Greeny riding in the back of a pedicab in Flatiron. Yelled out, "What's up, Mike?" And he gave me a nod back.
That's
a pedicab?
It happens. Sometimes you need one.
Now, you know Joe Tollison, right?
Well, of course, who doesn't?
He had a really good one. The Griffey double to win the '95 series.
Yeah.
Joe stops at a bar waiting for his train at Penn State.
No, he scored on the double.
He scored on the double by Edgar Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
Charger now.
So he's watching the the game, and there's a man next to him, bearded guy. He's got a hat pulled over his eyes, and he's sitting there just drinking. And they strike up a conversation about the game and what an amazing moment it was. And they talk for like 5 minutes, and then he goes to pay his check, and he shakes hands, says goodbye, and he recognizes it's Bill Murray.
Wow.
Well, Bill Murray's the king of In the Wild.
He seems to be, right?
Now, Jack
Yeah,
Curry
he's
said,
the
no
guy.
words exchanged between me and the juice.
So ask him but if he had to say something, what would he have said?
And I'm sure he considered it. Was he considering?
Well, he's watching right now, so just ask him. Now,
Jack, what year was this? Did he say the year?
2003 or 2004.
So you're still 10 years, AM.
Yeah.
After
Cameron White, who's our director at Yes.
Love Cameron.
He sat next to Anne Hathaway at a restaurant in Westport.
Uh-oh, Michael would have done something.
I'll tell you what, I went to a movie premiere with Jodie that Anne Hathaway was in, and they had a Q&A afterward.
We heard this.
But she's beautiful in person. Just as beautiful as she is on screen.
Well, that's not shocking.
You're in the
She
wild.
did say that in Hollywood. That wasn't in the wild. But she said in Hollywood they didn't think she was like attractive enough.
That was the thing.
But you're in the wild moment, Michael, is the Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you, Don, for knowing my life better than me.
You had a Cindy Crawford in the wild. That's a pretty
And
good
then
one.
I said the same thing to Cindy that Jack said to OJ. Nothing.
Which you're very proud of.
Let's go to Blanderson Hooper. Blanderson.
What's going on, guys? How are you?
All good.
Yeah, I just tweeted out. I know Don would appreciate this, probably not you guys, but my dad was in a hospital bed next to Jean Potson for about a week or so, about 6 or 7 years ago. So that was my.
Did you talk to Potson?
That's a rough one. I'm going to be honest with you.
I also ran into Rob Thomas from Matchbox 20
Let's just
Bronx.
wrap the. I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you for the call.
No, that's not nice. Why? Wow. Not a hip hop guy. You know how many useless hip hop people you bring up, and I'm supposed to bow down to you?
By the way,
he's a rock guy, and he likes Matchbox 20. Shut up.
By the way, that's a bad job by you, Don. That was a bad. You just went to every cheap thing. Would I have bad-mouthed? Michael? Did I seem not impressed by John Lennon?
Oh, you were, but Rob Thomas is.
That's your example.
But Rob Thomas of
And I wouldn't have
Matchbox
said
20
anything
is-
if you said Jay-Z. But Michael, how many times do we have to hear some story about a hip-hop guy neither of us have ever heard of?
And it
we're
bores
supposed
us
to
to
go,
tears.
you're the most
Don.
interesting man in the world.
Flip the cards over and say goodbye to Yes right now. Bye, Yes.
Bye, Yes. You're missing.
That's a wrap on the show for today. Coming up next, our coverage of the Yankees and the Orioles gets underway with the pregame show. For all of us here on the Michael K. Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night. We'll see you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. The Michael K. Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
The best ideas come from solving common problems. My problem, like a lot of other men, I couldn't find a shirt that looked good untucked. So this became